There was jubilation in the streets of Buenos Aires as Argentina elected its first libertarian president, the Trump-admiring lion-maned rocker Javier Milei. In yesterday's election, he trounced the left-wing Peronists who have destroyed Argentina with a, quote, parasitic, corrupt, and useless government, currently running inflation at 143% per year, with a 40% poverty rate and rampant crime. The mainstream media, of course, was triggered. Left-wingers from CNN to BBC to the Washington Post called the devout libertarian Milei, quote, far-right, presumably trying to tar him with the authoritarianism they themselves champion every day. President Trump, meanwhile, warmly congratulated Milei, writing, quote, I'm very proud of you. You will turn your country around and make Argentina great again. Elon Musk posted, quote, prosperity is ahead for Argentina. For his part, the plain-spoken Milei promised that, quote, today the reconstruction of Argentina begins. It's the end of decadence. Now, if you spend any time online, you've probably seen clips of Milei's viral confrontations with, quote, leftards, or perhaps a clip of him flinging away useless ministries, making up roughly 60% of the Argentinian government. His campaign mascot is a chainsaw in Don't Tread on Me colors. Yesterday was expected to be close fought. Just last week, betting markets were 50-50 on who would win the election. 2 weeks ago, the socialist was favored. As you'd expect, local media ran a brutal fear campaign, as they did with Trump. Indeed, Argentine socialists have an army of vote buyers, euphemistically called neighborhood operatives, or punteros. Many of us here in America were waiting for those 3 a.m. burst pipes at the vote counting centers. Happily, either the vote fortifiers stood down or the voters overwhelmed them. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained. Milei campaigned on abolishing the central bank, calling it a scam to cheat people through inflation, and instead adopting the US dollar as Argentina's currency, replacing the peso, which is currently undergoing its fifth hyperinflation since 1975. Now, the US dollar does have its own problems, considering it's lost roughly 93% of its value since it was entrusted to the Federal Reserve in 1913. Still, that is a lot better than the Argentine peso, which lost 93% of its value in the past 5 years. His other major campaign promises include gun rights to address Argentina's Chicago-level crime wave, and a wholesale slashing of government, which, despite being corrupt and useless, employs nearly 30% of the population. It's all good stuff, but alas, Milei comes to office without a majority in Congress, and he will continue to face a brutal local media. So, unlike fellow based populist Bukele in El Salvador, who won major reforms, Milei will be facing a Trump-scale swamp. So far, he has been very good at connecting with regular Argentinians, and he will need them to push serious reforms through a hostile Congress and a hostile media. If he is successful, of course, if he can end hyperinflation, rampant crime, and parasitic government that has been ruining Argentina for decades, then yes, he could make Argentina great again and serve as inspiration for pro-freedom movements across Latin America and indeed here in the US. Either way, millions of us here in America are excited to see what Milei and the Argentinian people can achieve. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.